deliberately restarting on me without me wanting it to, because there has been a huge problem with Windows recently. I don't know if anybody else is using Windows has been noticing these DLL pop-ups. Well, the computer didn't tell me that I was going to be doing this update, and so in the middle of flying south to have a quick convo about the reason why the zone is unfinished, or what they did work on to get the zone complete versus what they didn't, the computer decided to, without telling me, go ahead and restart and install the update that gets rid of all those error messages. So, the good news is, Windows is fixed. The bad news is, I got interrupted literally like 5 minutes before I'm stopping the stream. So, I'm going to be posting both these videos on YouTube. One that's only a couple minutes long, which is going to look really, really stupid, and the one that's, you know, the majority of everything I've been doing today, which I hope has been informative, fun, and interesting. Well, I guess informative and interesting are probably the same thing. Whatever. Okay, so here we are in Silthus. Now, I was talking about the fact that the reason why the zone existed in the first place was to provide a large area for a world event. I was talking earlier about the Booty Bay Plague event. The plague started in Booty Bay and spread across the world, leading into Wrath of the Lich King. Everybody knows that part. What they might not know is that there was a world event before that, and anybody who hasn't played Warcraft very long will not know that. There was a world event before that, and it involves the area I'm at right now in the southern end of Silithus. The Scarab Wall. This gate used to be closed. In fact, when I was playing this game, at level 60, this gate was never opened. It was always closed. It had always been closed. Well, as I said earlier, I got off of Warcraft pretty much after I capped because I didn't want to raid. I didn't want to party up with people. I didn't feel any need to play the game. As far as I was concerned, getting to level 60 was the goal of the game at that time. I was a noob at the time. Give me a break. But the point is, I stopped playing solely because I didn't have any interest in going any further with leveling up or being the best on my server or any of that bullshit. Well, what ended up happening is, as a result, I missed the event. The event was the opening of the Scarab Wall. The opening of the gate into the Kingdom of Ahn'Qiraj, which is the Fallen Kingdom, which is all about bugs. It's all about bugs, folks. It really is. It really, really is. But the situation is that I wasn't online for it, so I have no idea about what's happening, but I have heard lots of stories. And the stories I've heard have been mainly about how the world event had a countdown timer, and the closer they got to the timer, the more servers crashed until the game was completely and utterly unplayable when the gate actually opened. There were very few people who were actually in-game to see the gate open. There were even fewer people who were able to actually go through the gate once it opened, because they underestimated grossly the number of people who wanted to see this happen. They had virtually everybody in the game here, in one small area, fighting against each other for the resources that allowed them to be dominant when the gate opened. And as a result, there's been stories of people who are taking flight paths into Cenarian Hold, who got to Cenarian Hold and were literally unable to dismount from the flight path from over an hour. For over an hour, sitting there hovering with the wings going, not being able to get off. Actually logging off the game, not just reloading the UI, but logging off the game, coming back online and still hovering. Once you could get back online, keep in mind, because back then the queue times, apparently, in order to get back into the game for the event, went from 0 up to, I believe, 3 hours in the space of a couple of minutes. They basically broke their own game. That's what happened. That was the days of, the game being level 6. This was the final patch before the first expansion. And when it got released, they broke the game. So they had to fumble around, get big servers going, and get things going again. Now, here's the ironic part, is that Blizzard has never learned from this event. Because you know what happened when Warlords of Draenor came out? Guess what? You got it. They crashed their own servers because they weren't expecting the number of people that were not playing to come back in the numbers that they did. When Draenor released, they gained 3 million players overnight. Since Draenor's release, they have now lost 3 million players.
Yep.
So basically, we're back at pre-Draenor levels, which were lower than they were for Wrath of the Lich King, which is arguably the best expansion pack they've had as far as content and player retention. Cataclysm pissed off a lot of people. The nerfing that went along with Cataclysm is what pissed off a lot of people. And the lack of variety. I mean, Cataclysm only gave you 5 levels of content. And let's be 100% clear, I want to specify this very succinctly. Cataclysm's 5 levels and Pandaria's 5 levels are completely different. Yes, it is possible to only do the first zone in Pandaria before getting Cap ready to go to Draenor. I've proven it myself with my Death Knight. You only have to complete all of the first zone, the Jade Forest, I believe it's called, and start this. In fact, I don't even think my Death Knight completed the Jade Forest. But I know that the character, my Paladin, Timbuktu, on Alliance side, he completed the Jade Forest and started doing stuff in, what the hell's the next section? He got started on his farming at Half Hill. I know that. Can't remember. I think it's the Valley of the Four Winds. I got into the Valley of the Four Winds, no problem. Let's check that. And Valley of the Four Winds. I got through the Thunderfoot Fields area, and I got just to Half Hill. I think I also went up the Veiled Stair. I revealed this. I might have even gone through to here. Oh, not to here. To here. I think I went through to Binan Village, and then went right back in order to get back down and continue questing down to Half Hill, because everybody knows the big grind in Pandaria is the farming at Sunsong Ranch. So I got back down there, and then I capped 90 and said to hell with this and went to Draenor, just like anybody else who's going to do this. I mean, you have to remember that every previous expansion pack that's come out before the one that's current is only going to be played completely by people who are completionists. And I hate to break the news, but Gutrend is my completionist character, and as a result, he did do all this. And I've already done it, and I ain't doing it again if I don't have to. I will assist my wife,
as he always does.
As I always do, and I will get her through that expansion and bring up her low-level characters up to cap and help her do all that shit. But I ain't doing it again on my own. That ain't happening. No way. No way, Jose. So, I have traveled the length and breadth of the Eastern Kingdoms, the length and breadth of Kalimdor, and except for the zones that don't really count, like Uldum and Mount Hyjal, and except for zones that I'm not going to because they're starting level for previous expansions and I don't care and nobody else does either, I've pretty much covered everything that the game has changed from vanilla through Cataclysm to now. So, with that having been said, I'm going to hearth myself back to my garrison, which is where this character still needs to do some work today. And I'm going to thank everybody who's come into the Twitch TV /Gutrend channel and taken a look at my feed today. And I'm going to thank everybody who's popped on to my YouTube channel and taken a look at the videos there. I'm sorry about the split between the first video and the second video, but it weren't me. I didn't do it. It weren't me who done it. I had nothing to do with that. That was not my intention at all. Not my intention at all. I was booted out by a Windows update, and that's just how it is, folks. I'm sorry. But please feel free to share the videos on YouTube, like the videos on YouTube, and by all means subscribe to both my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Twitter at Gutrend. You can find me at Facebook at Gutrend. I have a Gutrend specific channel, and it is there that I will be posting pictures proving the difference between old zones and new zones, and old cities versus new cities. And you'll be able to take a look at the old pictures there and compare them directly to the game as you're playing it if you like. You can hit your Windows button, minimize the game, and take a look at the pictures on Facebook and compare them directly to what you're looking at on the game as you're playing it if you like. So there's that. Alright, so it looks like I'm done streaming for today. I'm going to be streaming my Hunter, who has just capped level 60 and is getting ready for the Burning Crusade expansion. I am currently feeding him leathers through a rogue that I have that is feeding him heavy leather so that his leather working is approximately the same level as he is as he continues climbing with his heirloom items. I still have to boost some of his heirloom items up to 90, so he's good to go for the rest of the climb. At 90, I'm not really worried about giving him new items, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately slow my roll in order to show you more of Draenor than anything else, it being the current expansion and people probably being more interested in seeing that progression than the actual rest of the game progression. So I'll try and do it that way and see if I get more viewers that way. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a nice day. I'll be picking up my Hunter tomorrow at around 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 p.m. Central, which is, what would that be, about 11 a.m. Mountain Time? Oh, I think it's 11 a.m. on the West Coast, and it's 2 p.m. on the East Coast. So I'll be picking that up tomorrow, and I'll be continuing on, venturing into the Burning Crusade, hopefully getting a few levels under my belt, so I'm not in Burning Crusade for too long before I'm into Lich King, and places further. Alright, so I hope everybody has a good day. Again, I apologize for the break in the videos, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel.